Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm super happy to have you here. Let's dive in and see what messages Spirit has for you today. I just thought we'd open it wide up. We're going to start with some Lenormand energy here. See if we can get some details about what's going on for Pisces, please, Spirit. Wow. Wow. Oh. The fountain fell on my little grand dog sleeping on my feet. It fell right on her little face. She didn't even flinch. Okay, guys, so you're getting the Rider energy. You're getting the fountain energy, the scythe energy, and the lilies. And, you know, I want to say that these are all... I mean, right, like I was about to say, these are all good cards, but, you know, everything is an energy, right? Everything has, you know, everything is on a spectrum. And I think, you know, sometimes when we're talking about the scythe, these kind of energies, you know, some people don't like endings or aren't ready for things to end or don't want things to change or, you know, whatever. They'd like to hold on to what they have. And this scythe is facing the lilies. And it's flanked on both sides with the fountain and the lilies. And so this scythe is a positive ending. And it like... the feeling that it gives me is that, like, sometimes you don't know an ending is a positive ending until, like, the good thing comes or the thing comes that couldn't have come if this was still going on. Like, what you have might feel good, but what is out there might feel better. You know, sometimes... yeah, I don't know what this energy is exactly that I'm trying to tap into necessarily. But it's something that has to end so that something can flourish, something can grow. And what wants to flourish, what wants to grow is really beautiful and abundant and like overflowing. You also have this Rider over here wanting to come in. So, but what is being cut out at one time was something good. In other words, okay, let's say this is a job. And at one point, this was your dream job. This was everything that you ever wanted in a job. And, you know, over the years, you've just sort of settled in, gotten comfortable, and been, you know, it's provided a paycheck. It's been good to you. It's been fine, whatever. Maybe it has had its challenges. Maybe it has had its setbacks. But this job was meant to, like, get you through a period of time, but it wasn't meant to be your forever thing. And so it's coming to this point where it's got to end. And, you know, it can be hard, especially when something has lasted for a long time. And the lilies indicate that it has lasted for a long time, and that at one point it was something that you did deeply want. But this is being cut out. This is finding its natural conclusion, its end, right? Because you do have the fountain energy and the Rider energy hot on its heels, and that lilies is taking up the space. That lilies is filling a spot that we need empty in order for this super amazing stuff to come in. So the fountain is, it's indicative of, you know, social life, like a life that is full and rich and abundant and inspiring and celebratory and happy. It may even be full of like events, parties, things that are happening. And you do have this rider on the bottom of the deck, and the rider, it can represent someone who's coming in. It can be a message coming in. It can be like news. It can be ideas. It can be, you know, something that happens relatively quickly. It can be, you know, someone who is attractive and athletic or energetic or vibrant. It's something that's coming towards you in like a positive and strong way. And, you know, sometimes it's like, this could be an actual person, right, who's coming into your life. And as a couple, you may have all of these places. You may get a lot of invitations. You may be, this person may be a lot more social than you are per se, or they may have a really established group of, or community that they belong to that you are now going to become a part of. And now you're going to have all of these things happening and going on that you didn't before. It can also just be a change, like a change in a job, a change in, you know, sometimes you'll have a change in job and the people at that job like to go out after work, like to, you know, they have like a game night, or they have, you know, there's always a celebration. It's always like a positive atmosphere, where you end up meeting a lot of people and making a lot of friends. Or even it can be where you've had a job where you've kind of been in the background, and now you're getting a job where you're much more in the foreground, or like where you're like the face of something, or you have a stronger role of communicating things to people. And this gets you interacting with a lot of different people, making friends and connections with a lot of different people. It's a real boost of kind of like vitality in your life. It's like you are sacrificing something, or you are cutting something out that at one time was good, or even felt like a blessing. But it's because there is something coming in that is really good. It just feels like it's more meant for you at this time as well. It's kind of giving me this vibe of, you know, sometimes when you're learning something new, like, for example, I just keep using the example of painting, but like, when you first start painting, you don't want to do it in a group. You don't want to do it socially, where you're going to feel pressure to show people what you're painting. Like, you just kind of want to keep it to yourself and sort of build your skills. And it sort of feels like that. But then when you're ready, when you kind of have your skills, or when you kind of know who you are as an artist, or you know you are confident enough to like hang out with people, it adds like a rich new dimension to something that you are now capable of. Like, you can add this other element to it because you have like fine-tuned or honed your skill in another environment. Like, it's going to be where you can see why this progression happened. I will tell you that. Buncher, do not growl at Bhakti. Oh my goodness. You have this energy of need to release tension, finally gaining clarity, time to unwind, oh, you're sad, let's get a puppy. This energy really mirrors the top energy for me. This need to release tension, everything, I don't want to say that everything that is good eventually, becomes, some things that are good stay good forever, right? But a lot of times something is for a season in our life. And so something that resonates with us, like for example, like I'm 25, I just graduated college or something, or I guess you would graduate earlier than that, 21, okay? And I just graduated college. And I got this job fresh out of college, and it was great. And maybe I moved up a couple positions, and it really felt like I was making a career here, da-da-da-da-da. But it's actually a pretty small company, and the person that is my boss is only like 40 years old and isn't going to retire anytime soon, and so I can no longer move up. Then I can live like that for a while, right? But then when it becomes clear to me that my skill level is beyond that of my boss, and that my boss is calling the shots, and that maybe my boss is getting insecure because my boss sees that I am better at this than they are, and therefore starts giving me impossible situations, putting me down in public, gaslighting me, like whatever, it becomes where it's gone from something good to something that's like, I see a potential roadblock, but I can still deal with it, to this is almost like an abusive or intolerable situation. I can't do it anymore. And you see here how there is this smoke in the card, and then right next to it, there's this finally gaining clarity. I feel like for some period of time, there was a little bit of, is it me? Is it them? Is it this? Is it that? This was so good for so long. Why? What's wrong? Like, it feels like there's like a bit of cloudiness around, like, what do I do? Is it what I think it is? Can it change back to the way it was? If your boss was always really nice to you, right? And then all of a sudden they're, talking badly about you, or, saying how, blaming you for things or whatever publicly, that can be very confusing. You're like, but wait, what happened? I'm doing this exactly the same as I've always done it. Why is it now a problem? And it's because you've touched a nerve within that person. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their own insecurity. Now they're starting to see like, oh wow, they could pay them less to do my job. It's me or them. I'm going to make sure, it's them and not me. You know what I mean? So it's like, it can be really confusing, because it feels like there's a bit of not for everyone, but for some of you, sort of a sharp turn here, where it's like, it's going really good and then boom, but the thing is, with this finally gaining clarity, it feels like it's like, okay, the writing is on the wall. I see what I need to do. I need to leave. You know what I mean? I need to relax. I need some time to myself, before you make a big jump or something like that. And I'm just using a job as an example. This definitely does not have to be a job. It could easily be a relationship. It could easily be friendships. It could easily be your family. It could easily be anything. Right? There is this period of like, maybe I should think about it. Maybe I should sort of pull myself out of this environment and just kind of clear my head, like give myself some time to like see if I'm at peace with this choice or this decision. Like, it may not be something that comes super easily, to you, but it does feel like it, once you kind of distance yourself and look at it from more of an observer perspective, it becomes extremely clear to you. There is this energy of, oh, you're sad, let's get a puppy. And it kind of, I don't know if this is, you with you, or you have a friend, or there's someone in your life who's kind of like this, but it feels like, you know, there is like, oh, you're sad, let's get a puppy. What the where it's calling my attention is that let's not talk about or address why you're sad. Let's just not be sad anymore. Like, let's just do something so that you're not sad anymore, which can sometimes be a loving thing, and especially when it's not something you can do anything about. You know, you can't change who your boss is, you can't change the structure of the company, you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's giving me like, there is a problem that we can't do anything about. It just is what it is. But maybe you have someone in your life who recognizes this and cares for you, and in kind of a loving, gentle way is sort of saying to you, hey, you know, I don't want to see you be sad anymore, or I want you to be happy, or, you know, like, let's do something. It could even be like go on a trip or a vacation, or get a glass of wine, or have dinner, catch up, meet up, whatever, to get your mind off of it, or to get you some distance, or to make you bolster you up about the choice that you've made, or something like that. I'm not really sure. But it's like, we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to dive way into it. It may even be a problem that really doesn't have any solution other than, you know, to evacuate a space, or, you know what I mean, to like, to kind of do something that is a bit drastic, that can be very worrisome, you know, can cause fear or anxiety. Wow, you are getting winter solstice, which is December 21st, and ask more questions. I think it's December 21st everywhere, but it's at least December 21st where I am. And then you have alignment and open your heart and results coming. Yeah, this is just, I mean, this is just saying, ask yourself all the questions. Just ask yourself all the questions. The answers are inside. You know, the winter solstice is, actually, you know, I've always called it the shortest day of the year, but I was watching a video and someone said it's the longest night of the year. And for some reason, that shifted my entire attitude about the winter solstice. I was like, wow, how beautiful, the longest night of the year. And then I started even thinking, like, you know, all the nocturnal things that are out there. Because it was with the day we did that reading and I used that nocturnal deck. But it's their kind of longest day, you know what I mean? It's like, there are some beings and creatures that are thrilled about how long the night is, you know? But saying something is long feels like a celebration of the thing, but saying something is short feels like you're getting robbed of something that belongs to you, or that should be there, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, but the longest night of the year, I will always say that for the rest of my life. It will always be the day that has the longest night of the year. It will not be the shortest day of the year ever again for me, because it was just so beautiful. And see, you can see that, like, even with the alignment here, you know, it's like, what aligns with your heart, what feels good. And sometimes it is such a small shift like that, looking at something like that as a night instead of a day, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. But anyway, it does feel like there is some kind of pause or some kind of reprieve. And like I said, it could be something as simple as like getting a bite to eat, or having a glass of wine, or, you know, some kind of, you know, indulgence that, you know, helps you to relax, that really brings a lot of clarity and lets you go. Also, now I'm seeing these two energies here, need to release tension and gaining clarity, as like night and day. which feels connected to that winter solstice. So heavy emphasis on, you know, the end of December. This is not even 2 weeks away from now. It's like, what, just a week? I don't even know. I can't do math and I have no idea what day it is. But I can do math. I don't like to say I can't do anything. I can. I just can't while I read. Or, well, I probably could, but it would take me out of the energy. Okay, yikes. Also 2323, and I swear someone recently commented from another country, like Romania, I want to say, something about 2323 on a video. This is freaking me out because in that video I was talking about synchronicities. So again, I am now getting this energy of divine guidance and of, you know, like, pay attention to number sequences and things that repeat. Wow, something crazy is happening here with this. I'm not exactly 100% sure what, but I can feel the energy around it. But this is just a time, you know, to ask yourself, to check in with yourself, and to, you know, really look inside your heart. What level of satisfaction are you feeling with the certain things in your life? And what can you do to make it more in alignment with how you want your life to be, how you want to see it? When you, how do I even want to say it? You know, oh God, every time some painting analogy comes up, and I'm sorry about it. But, you know, like when you are learning when you're learning, and you're always learning, but when you're learning like painting, and it's like very complicated for me because I am a pretty good photographer, and it's hard for me to be bad at something when I've been good at something for so long. And it's not that I'm bad at it. I'm fine at it, but I'm just, you know, what in your head you see yourself as compared to what you're doing is, when there's a large disparity between that, it's a little disconcerting, I guess. But I also know from having had like learned photography, which was different because I started as a 6-year-old, but I had to almost relearn everything. Not really everything, but I had to relearn a lot when it went from film to digital. And then I had to really learn Photoshop, which I was not good at in the beginning. I'm not a technology person, but thankfully I had really amazing teachers for Photoshop that got me there where I needed to be, and actually relatively quickly. And also, I was really bad at it for a long time, and I then became good at it. And so in the process of that, it's like, I know that you just sort of have to have the confidence that you can do something, and that, you know, you hold this space of vision for yourself as being successful or being able to do this for a reason. Like, there's an element of delusion, right? And like, as a Pisces, you know, with Neptune as your ruling planet, we talk about delusion all the time, but there is a very positive aspect to being delusional. And that is that you can really see yourself being successful, or you can really hold a space of vision for yourself that like other people don't. You know, it is a superpower. It can be a superpower, right? When we channel it in the right way. And like, other people, if they get this idea of like, oh wow, I'm supposed to be an Olympian, let's just say, and a track star, I want to be in the Olympics. And they're like, how hard can it be? I mean, I'm pretty fast. I usually win at gym. I'm going to go and I'm going to try. and they run the track and they look at their time and they're like 2 minutes off, you know, what the present day Olympians are running it at, okay? And they're like, oh my God, 2 minutes. I'm never going to make that up. They're so much faster than me. That's freakish. Like, they must be special. They must be different. They must have something that I don't have. I was actually listening to an artist talk. He was talking about how when he was a kid, all of his friends were better artists than he was, and it was like his thing. People knew him to be an artist, but like to be good at art. And I'm doing like air quotes around that. And then he wrote a book recently called Becoming an Artist. And I was listening to a talk he was doing for the book publisher. And he was saying that, yeah, you know, it used to make him feel really bad when his friends were really good at art or like, you know, even a particular project. And he was the one that was like good at art. And it was, for him, it was his thing. For him, it was his calling. And it kind of was very hurtful when he saw other people have more success or be better at it. And he said, but he stuck with it. That was the difference. He persevered. He kept doing it. He didn't get discouraged. He didn't, you know, have a one-hit wonder and be like, okay, well, there it was. He has kept at it for all these years, for, you know, 40, 50 years. And he's a really incredible artist. And listening to him talk was pretty nice. Just his vision and everything, like the way he even interprets things is pretty incredible. I can't remember his name. It's like Scott Sava or something like that. But anyway, he was a really cool dude. And I kind of want to read his book now. But anyway, he knew even at a young age that art was his thing. And that's why he was protective of that space. That's why he felt that way. And it's not that you're never going to feel inadequate. It's not that you're never going to make bad art. I mean, or whatever it is, or make a mistake, or have a bad day, or, you know, have a vision that you are not sufficient enough at at whatever it is you're trying to do to be able to accomplish it. Those things happen because you learn through those things, you grow through those things, you expand through those things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was even on like big jobs and I was like, I have no idea how to light this. I have no idea how to do this. And then I just sat down and I thought about it. I thought about everything that I could pull from, that I knew, that I had, the experiences that I had. And I would say, okay. And I used to call it early on. I would be like, I'm jerry rigging this. I said that all the time. It's so funny just even thinking about that. But I was like, I'm just gonna try something, you know, it was kind of an experiment, and it was an expensive experiment because, you know, time is a waste on photo shoots, but I would do it. And it would, I can't tell you, I want to say 11 times out of 10, I was deeply rewarded for doing it that way. People would say all the time, like, your photography doesn't look like anyone else. Well, yeah, because I'm just making it up as I go along. And making it up as I go along, I invented my own style. I invented my own thing. And that's your voice. That's what you bring to the table. That's what you have to offer that is different than everybody else. So this idea that you have that, like, I can be a photographer, I can be a painter, I can be an artist, I can be whatever it is. And you have that for a reason, that desire, that inner knowing, that spark within you. You have it for a reason. It is a motivator. It is something that is getting you to get out there and figure out how to be that person. And honestly, a lot of times you really do have to fake it till you make it. You've got to kind of convince yourself that, yeah, you can figure it out, you know, but you convince yourself that you can, and then you prove yourself right because you do. That's the thing. That's what I have always found. If I convince myself that I can, then I always do. And it might not be obvious, and it might not take 5 minutes. I may have to persevere. It might take me a while, but I will do it. If I tell myself I can, I absolutely will. And so it's kind of this energy that I'm picking up here is just kind of like Pisces, you know, this is a time to be brave. This is a time to be strong. This is a time to tell yourself that you can. The results will come. It will be there for you. You know, just stay in tune with what's aligned deeply to you personally. Okay. Ironically, we're using the Artist Decoded Tarot. I guess it's ironic. I don't know. Of course, I would have this deck, but I don't know. I don't know. And every reading, I swear, I'm talking about painting all the time because I'm painting all the time. Oh my gosh. I painted a ruby crowned kinglet this morning, and it's so cute, and I'm so in love with it, and I can't wait for my husband to come home so I can show him how cute it is. All right, here we go. For Pisces. And I usually don't feel that way. All right. Okay. Wow. Something is definitely changing. So for some of you, this could be something from your past. This is wild. This energy you guys have is crazy. Oh, there's a card under the Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Swords. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. First of all, can we just point out that you have 3 aces and the Fool card and the Wheel of Fortune all ching right here. The first time I shuffle. You have the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. So we can be talking about something that's on your soul path, something that is part of your destiny. We could also be talking about a soul mate. You do have the Rider over here and the Lovers here, so you may have a new soulmate coming in for sure. This can also be a choice around some kind of message that is delivered, or an opportunity that comes in that brings a choice with it. All right, getting into the nitty-gritty of this energy, right? My throat is doing something so weird right now. Let me drink some tea. It's just like, whoo. Getting hard to talk, kind of, really. I might have to cut this short. You have this Ace of Cups, Judgment, and the Seven of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, I just turned and saw 3:33 after I just said 23:23. What was I telling you? Okay, the Ace of Cups, Judgment, and the Seven of Pentacles. There is some opportunity here that is very close to your heart, Pisces. That, you know, this is an opportunity to rise above anything that you've ever experienced before. This is an opportunity to really elevate in a way that's hard to describe. You know, it's like if you... Two words just came to me very strongly: mundane and banal. And both of them are kind of everyday, boring, ordinary sort of situations. And the Judgment is here to be like, we're getting all out of that. We're rising above that. We have an opportunity here with this Ace of Cups to have a different experience, to rise up out of this. Kind of feels like the daily grind, kind of feels like ordinary, It just, I don't know, banal and mundane. You decide what that is. You have the Seven of Pentacles. This is something that you've actually been working toward for a long time. It's not something that just like pops up. Hey, I was thinking about this the other day, just, I don't know when. I wasn't actually thinking about it. I was meditating, and I actually was shown that for me, painting, I keep thinking I'm new at painting, or I'm new to painting, or newer to painting. I have painted for a while, but I was a watercolor painter exclusively, and now I'm doing all kinds of other mediums. And I just feel like I don't know anything, you know what I mean? But I have actually been working toward this for a very long time, right? Doing photography, even doing my little watercolor, even just being, I've always sort of had this creativeness in me, right? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that because you're Pisces. But it's kind of like, even if this is some kind of new chapter or new iteration, or like doing something a completely different way, with the Seven of Pentacles, you've been nurturing this and fostering this within yourself for a long time. You know, you've been preparing yourself. If this is a new romantic connection, it's kind of saying, you know, you've been building yourself into the person that you are to be a partner in a partnership for a really long time. And here is your opportunity to rise beyond any experience that you've already had. Like, this is going to be... Honey Beckett, what are you chewing? That is not a dog toy. These are dog toys. Chew on that, little mother. She's always getting into everything. Oh, you're gonna eat my blue. Okay. She likes to get my watercolor pans that are drying. Anyway, so this is an opportunity to kind of go beyond what you've experienced before, and to expand into like another echelon. Then you have over here the Fool card, the Ace of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. This is, you know, we have this finally gaining clarity energy, and with the Ace of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Cups, this is like talking about, this can be clarity on something in your life that really needs to change, or, you know, something that's no longer in harmony with who you are, or no longer in balance with who you are. It's enough now, the energy is enough now that it's kind of pushing you out of the nest. It's kind of saying, okay, you know, now it's time to act. Now, you know, it can be that this is the right time, you know, that like things are aligning in your life, that this is a really good time for you to take some kind of risk, or for you to, you know, explore some kind of new person, I don't know, partnership, you know, that you suddenly have space for this, and you have the bandwidth for this in your life. And it was also, you know, this is something that you really want, you know, beyond all of that. This is something that you're passionate about. This is something that you desire. And desire is the thing that is the motivator. It's the thing that pulls us out. You know, I want to be a really good painter. I want to be able to walk around and paint anything that I see just on a whim with whatever material I have with me at the time. Like, that is something that I really want for myself. You know, that is what keeps me showing up with my paintbrush every morning to paint. What is your thing? You know, what is that thing that you really, really want? Because it feels as though you're getting an opportunity to take this kind of leap of faith, but it is also pointing out to you the things like old habits, or, you know, could be things from your past that at one time were in resonation with you that just aren't anymore, that need to change. And this is a good time for it. It keeps giving me that with the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Pentacles. Both of those cards talk about divine timing. And this is a good time for it. And it's like you can even see and sense that this is a good time for it. You know, it's clear to you. It's almost like, you know, yeah, I like, I could go on and on about that, but like, yeah, it just, this is a good time. It's a good time for it. I just got, if not now, then when. Gosh, you guys have the Fool on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. There is something here that is really, it's like, I am ready to take action. You see this King of Swords, and he's got like the bow, he's got the falcon, and you know, he's definitely, I feel like, you know, how do I want to say that? Like, finding a good foundation so that he can take action. You know, he's balancing himself on the rocks and preparing himself to like shoot an arrow or to let go of this falcon or whatever is about to happen, but you can tell something's about to happen. And there is some, you know, with the King of Swords, this is like a lot of clarity. It is also talking about like mastering your mindset, or, you know, really becoming a master of your thoughts, not letting your thoughts run you, but sort of like taking charge of your thoughts and saying, oh, I'm doing this. Like, you can make it difficult for me, or you can make it easy for me. Like, how about you make it easy for me? Because I'm going to do it regardless. Like, whatever thoughts I'm having are not going to stop me or slow me down. Like, I'm taking charge of it. And then you have this energy over here with Justice and the Two of Swords, which is like, there is a major decision here. You have the Lovers and Justice showing right now. So there is a major decision here. Oh, this is the Five of Swords. I'm sorry. I think I said the Two of Swords. I don't know why, but I think I said the Two of Swords for some reason. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I said the Five of Swords. I have no idea. I think it's because there's two buckets right here. I have no idea. But anyway, the thing about it is that, it's the Five of Swords, which is this, it's our thoughts that hold us back. It's our thoughts that are looking at what we painted and saying, man, it looks like a kindergartner painted that. Like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I just don't have this ability. Maybe I'm just not meant to be a painter. You know what I mean? Like, we will always try to convince us, especially if the way is hard or it's not clear that we're going to be successful. Our mind will do all kinds of stuff to talk us out of it. But with Justice, you can see this really empowered energy, and she's like holding her hand out like this, like in a, almost like a position of strength of like, I got this. Like, I'm doing this. The decision is mine. It is in my hands. And, you know, there is some kind of decision to probably cut something out from the past that no longer works. And for some of you, it may just be this mentality that keeps stopping you from going for your dreams, or for going for what you want, or even for pursuing something that you know you're meant to do, or that you are doing. I'm not really sure how to say this, but it's crazy. You know, you see a lot of times like people who do things for free. So they're doing it, but they're not getting paid for it. Like, how do I even want to say this? It's almost like they're sort of saying, I'm really not very good at this, or like, I'm not good enough to get paid for this, but I want to do it, so I'm doing it for free. Like, oh, I do not even know how to say what I'm trying to say. But what they're failing to see, they're so busy qualifying everything, that what they're failing to see is that they're doing it. They are doing that job. They are doing it. They are capable of it. They are doing it. I'm not sure why that exact example is coming up, but it's like when my daughter told me to read tarot for social media, I was like, I don't know about that. And she's like, what don't you know about it? And there was a lot I didn't know about it because I didn't understand technology and everything. But also, I was like, I just read for fun. I just like the practice of it, and I love the cards, and I love, like, I would read cards for people when I was even a photographer, and people would be like, oh my god, you have no idea how insane that reading really is. And then I would have people like call me and be like, you know how you told me I was going to meet someone? Well, I met someone. You know how you told me I was going to get this job? Well, I got that job. And all those little confirmations, I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's so cool. And then I was starting to really use Moonology to do timelines, and I was pretty freaking accurate on timelines. Like, it was crazy what was happening. And I did that to add this like layer of like, it's not just a coincidence. Like, that's too specific for it to just be a coincidence. And then it no longer surprised me when it was right, you know what I mean? Or when, something along those lines or something close, or, you could see what I was talking about. Like, even I could see what I was talking about. And sometimes it would be so specific. It was crazy. But that's when I was like, wait, I am actually like a legitimate tarot card reader, and I definitely am very capable of it. And I never really doubted it after that. And there's a shift in your mindset when you realize, like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to become this. I already am this. I am doing it. And it's like that. I don't know what this is. I don't know what exactly I'm talking about for you, but it's just this thing of like, I actually deserve this because I am actually doing this. Maybe this part of the message isn't for everyone, but there's something in this that really wants me to say it and wants me to say it right. It's kind of like, stop downplaying your talent, your ability, you are doing it. You are that person. You already are. And also, it's important to believe that, and it's important to tell yourself that. That is the antidote to this way of thinking that keeps cutting you down. Also, it's now giving me, when you're closing out a cycle and you're moving into a new cycle, your mind really does double time trying to get you to go back to your old way of thinking about yourself or your old programming. And it is your steadfastness in not allowing yourself to go down that path anymore, or it's recognizing the pattern. It's about awareness, and then recognizing the pattern and saying, oh, I understand what's happening here. My mind is trying to convince me that I'm not this, or that I can't do this, and it's that old way of programming that's trying not to die right now. And really what it is it is a symbol. Like, what it could say to you is, I'm changing, I'm growing, something is happening here, I'm making progress, because it's freaking my mind out, it's freaking my thoughts out, and my thoughts are doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like I'm making it sound a whole hell of a lot more complicated than it actually is. But I feel like you will know what I'm saying if I'm saying it. Like, when you see yourself kind of falling into a past pattern, or like downplaying yourself or fizzling yourself out, like, I see like water on a blanket, like a wet blanket, like, extinguishing your own fire, I think it is. That's a past pattern, and that is a way of thinking that you can learn so much from. When you see that and you feel that within yourself, and you can observe it, and you can say, oh, I'm putting out my own fire. I'm not, that spark is in me for a reason. I need to protect that spark. I don't need to be putting it out. The world is going to try to put it out. Is your job to protect it, to give it oxygen and fuel, and keep it fired and stoked, and keep moving and keep doing it, and keep reminding yourself that you already are doing it. Like, I don't know. But there is something here about, you know, making this decision for yourself and not letting these errant, random, old, past thoughts say whatever they want to say to you. You know what I mean? Okay. And because with the Fool card here, it is saying there is this new beginning. You have the Fool card coming out twice. And in order to take this new beginning, you got to trust your gut. You can't listen to, you know, this Five of Swords energy, which is, you know, like kind of mental manipulation or thoughts that are really working against you in some way. This is your decision. It is your choice. You have Judgment, Justice, and the Lovers. All of those cards are telling you this is yours and it's major. So make the decision you want to make. Don't be talked out of it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Protect your spark. Make the decision, make the choice to choose your spark. And what does your spark need? What fuel? What energy? Whatever. Whatever. Do that. Commit. Keep making that decision over and over and over again. Wow, okay, so now you guys are getting the 10 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Wow. Oh my gosh, with Hermit and Justice. You guys are getting so many repeat cards in this reading. And they're pretty pivotal cards. They're major arcanas. You got the Fool twice, you got Justice twice. I mean, these are majors. This is about making the decision to take a leap of faith for some kind of new beginning, some kind of new opportunity that's coming in. And it may require you to leave something from your past in order to make space for this to come in. But Pisces, I see you doing it. This is your ships coming in. This is something that you have been waiting for. It is right in front of you in this portal here. You know, I think Neptune went direct here very recently, like within the last few days. And now it's, I think, I want to say it's heading into Aries, but like it really affected Pisces. And Saturn is going to be going direct and heading into Aries, or it already, yeah, it's going to be heading into Aries. Those are big planets. That's a big energy, and especially like it's all over you, Pisces. So it makes total sense to me that we are seeing the kind of cards we're seeing. There's a lot of major arcanas here. There's a lot of big energy here. And there's a lot of talk about the future in these cards. You know, with the Page of Wands and the Three of Wands, these are both like, what do you want, Pisces? What is the adventure you want for yourself? That is what is important here. In fact, that is what is most important here. If you follow your heart, if you name your path, if you say, this is what I want, this is the adventure I want, this is the path I want, and you take the steps on it and you follow your heart, it is going to lead you to abundance. It is going to lead to your legacy. It is going to lead to the thing that, that it's going to lead to abundance. Now, it is, you know, that doesn't mean it's going to take you straight there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. You know, these are energies that are big, and you have to persevere through them, and you have to muscle up and be strong and prepare yourself mentally and emotionally and physically for the journey. It's not just like something you recklessly step into. It is a new phase in your life. It is a new cycle for sure with the Wheel of Fortune. With the Hermit and Justice, this energy is, you know, I do feel like you may have had some time by yourself that you actually spent sort of rebalancing yourself. Or this could be that this is a time period where you are making a decision to do that. And or it can be a decision to come out of that. But with the Three of Wands here, it is important at this time to really think about what kind of future you want and to sort of expect it, like in equal parts, taking action toward it with any kind of free will decision that you have to make available to you. But also knowing that when you choose your path and what is meant for you, things come towards you. Things happen. You don't know where from and you don't know when it will happen, but it does happen. Wow. So many pages, so many aces, and so many pages. And that's pretty awesome. You know, wow, it really is awesome. Wow. And here you are successfully moving on. You have the Five of Wands with the Three of Cups. With this energy of, you know, choosing our path, following our heart, and reaching abundance. And, you know, the Five of Wands with the Three of Cups, it is giving me a little bit getting distracted by certain things, like, you know, getting distracted by friends, or, you know, letting external people cause blockages or conflict or drama in the situation. You don't want to focus on those things. You don't want to take your eye off of where you're going, or your mind off of like following your heart, to sort of, it's giving me the word entertain things outside the path. Like, this is a bit of a, I'm dedicated to this, you know, energy. And you have the Page of Cups with the Page of Swords, clarifying justice, and the Hermit. And pages are really great energy. Honestly, they are messengers and they are students. And that seems really appropriate in this reading to kind of end it here. Because, you know, I feel like you're going to learn a lot. Like, I almost feel like a bit of an explosion, you know, like just a flurry. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a baby when you take them on a trip. I used to travel all the time with my kids, and when they were little, like babies. And especially my daughter, well, she was at the time an only child because she's my oldest. But I would take her and I would bring her back, and she would have like this hugely expanded vocabulary. She would have all these skills that she didn't have. Like, traveling for her just like really expanded her mind. And I think it just does with babies, like taking them out of their normal environment and showing them things. Like, I think that they just like, their brain just like goes wild rapidly. And that is the energy that I feel here with these two pages. It's like getting ideas that really align with you authentically. And this, you know, for example, if this is a relationship we're talking about and you're embarking on this journey of a new relationship, it's almost as if you're seeing clearly, oh, this is where I need to be brave with my heart and my authenticity. This is where I have to, you know, say how I really feel. This is where I need to, you know, and then sort of, because I do feel like it's a challenge. But this is where you're like rewarded, like where your decision has a positive effect. If this is like going out and getting a different job, or going out on your own, or something like that, this is where pursuing your own unique thoughts and ideas cause you to break boundaries, cause you to learn things, you know. it's giving me another painting analogy, and I'm so sorry, but it's just, that's how everything is coming to me right now, and that's how I am. I just get obsessed. But it's giving it to me this way, that like when I want to, like, let's say I want to paint the plant that's in front of me. Okay, you can't see the plant, but it's there. If I want to paint that, then it is my desire to paint that that makes me raise my skill, that makes me, you know, a better plant painter. Okay, and it helps me with everything. It explodes my mind in a lot of different ways that I'm not even intending for it to. Like, maybe I learned something about the way the colors go together, or mixing colors. Maybe I learned something about perspective, or you know, what in the world am I trying to say? Composition, values, you know, maybe I learned something about that I wasn't even planning on, but it's that sheer desire I have to paint that plant that leads me on the path where I learn. So it's like I get this idea that resonates in my heart. I really want to paint that plant. And then that adventure, or that thing that takes me there, because we have the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Page of Swords here. That which is planted within me to want to do that is teaching me exactly what I need to know. It's taking me to the place. It's taking me through all the paces of all the things that like the skills that I need to develop for the path that I've chosen, for the path that I'm on. Like what I need for myself. So I am both like the student and the messenger. I hope that makes sense. But there's a lot of success here, Pisces. 6 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I mean, that's a lot of success. And with the 3 of Wands, there's stuff coming in, and there's also just the progress and movement that you're making here. And man, it's headed right toward this bottom of the deck that says results coming. All right, Pisces, I'm going to just get you some message cards. Oh my goodness, Bhakti, Baba. Oh my goodness. All right, I don't want to let you down. You deserve more. And secret if you're dealing with a water sign. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you are getting cold. I am afraid to trust. And if I had only known then what I know now. If you are dealing with a earth sign, you are the one, twin flames, and nostalgic. If you are dealing with an air sign, anxious, I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. You are so unexpected. The changes are real, and you give me so much to look forward to. All right, Pisces. Well, this wild and crazy reading is all yours, just for you. I hope it helped. I hope it brought you some peace and clarity. Thanks for tolerating all my painting analogies. It's not really even in my control. I get it the way I get it, and it's all painting right now. So anyway, until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.